He was going.
We're gonna invite everybody else to get theirs too. Okay.
Yay! And Vincent, I might go.
Hello, Facebook. Hello, and YouTube. I'm sorry, I'm streaming live to Facebook and YouTube. Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Bridget Leonard, better known as Dr. B, and we are talking tonight on Let's Talk Grown Folk Style. We are talking about these jobs ain't loyal. What's Plan B? I had to bring this topic up. As many of you know, or you may not know, I quit corporate America in May of 2020, and I haven't looked back. And I've had some of the best nights of sleep in my life. I think I've slept the best I've slept in over 20 years. I'm feeling good about it. But you can't just step out of that life and not have a plan B. So I have some beautiful ladies on this stage tonight that are going to share who they are, what they do. They're going to talk about their experience in the real world and how they prepare with Plan B. So if you are on Facebook tonight or if you are on YouTube, please like this post and most definitely share it, because we are not the only ones that need a plan B. You know, COVID has shown all of us that, again, these jobs ain't loyal. You guys got to have a plan B, C, and possibly a D. So again, we're going to share with you some tips tonight. I'm going to let each lady go and introduce themselves. You guys are in for a treat. There are some phenomenal women on my stage. Feel free to drop your comments on the side. I can see your comments. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in and we will be sure to address them. Let's go ahead and get this party started. Again, this is Dr. B. Let's talk grown folk style. These jobs ain't loyal. What's Plan B? If you need to get you something to drink, whether it be water, beer, wine, or a shot, do what you got to do, because we are talking grown folk style. We are candid. We are not holding you guys up. We're telling you what we know, what's been tried and true. I'm looking forward to sharing this evening with all of you. So let's go ahead and get started. Miss Just Being Felicia, let the audience know who you are, what you do.
Hi, I'm Felicia, better known as Just Being Felicia, you guys. I am a nurse entrepreneur. I am also a respiratory therapist, a 28-year clinician, and I own a couple of businesses, a door bag, and F. Smith Health Education Services. I am also a coach for entrepreneurs to get started or get better in business. I help women discover their own personal idea of freedom, create a lifestyle that they desire, and then learn how to flip their gifts and talents into multiple streams of income. And in 2020, I was able to quit because I had a plan B that I've been working on for 7, 8, 10 years. So nice to meet you guys. I look forward to talking to you.
All right. Okay, Miss Vincina, loving yourself. What's going on?
Hey, everybody. So my name is Vincina Person. I am a registered nurse, and I've been in the medical field for over 25 years. I am also a self-love coach that's near and dear to my heart. I own a couple of businesses also. I am the CEO of my own e-commerce. I am the CEO of my own e-commerce store. It's called I Love Myself brand. And what I do for the women is I empower them to build from broken places, discover who they already are, and love themselves first from the inside out. I hear static. That's why I was.
Yeah, me too.
Vincina, if you can't grab an earbud, it'd probably be better for you.
Okay. Yep.
All right. You done?
Yes.
All right, Miss Asandi.
Hey, ladies, and everyone who is joining us. My name is Asandi Connor. I am the founder and CEO of Say It Right, a strategic communications consultancy. I help professionals, organizations, and brands and entrepreneurs articulate their social mission in their authentic voice. I am also the director of the Detroit Equity Action Lab at Wayne State's Law School.
All right, Miss Shamisha.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shamisha. I'm a registered nurse. I've been in the medical field total probably about 15 years, 9 years as a nurse. I am the CEO of Nurse Milk. I'm a certified lactation educator. It's my passion to educate the masses, but especially women of color, to learn to breastfeed, learn to advocate for themselves, and to learn to incorporate their community to garner support. So that's what I do.
All right, Miss Leah.
Good evening, ladies and the listening audience. My name is Leah Mills Chapman, better known as the Mental Health Reconstructionist. I am an LMSW. I've been in the field now going on 10 plus years. Prior to that, I was in academic advising and I'm a teacher. And so I currently am the CEO of my own private practice called Intervene LLC, where I still engage in individual therapy as well as engage in consulting and training of corporations, social systems, and the like. And so that's pretty much just a little bit about me. Thanks for having me.
All right, ladies, we're getting a lot of comments that it's hard to hear. So if you're not speaking, if you can go on mute, that would be appreciated. I would do the same. Miss Ebony, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, ma'am. Hello, everybody. Hello, ladies. My name is Ebony Thompson. I am the CEO of H&H Coaching and Consulting. I help women mainly find that balance between home life and work, especially when building a business. I'm also co-founder and co-CEO of a brand called Erin Page. It is a tranquil beauty line that I started with my daughter. And so we're doing some great things. So I'm super, super excited.
All right. Well, I thank each and every one of you for being here. Again, for those that are just joining, my name is Dr. Bridget Leonard, better known as Dr. B. I am a registered nurse. I am also faculty at a local university. I am the CEO of Bridget Leonard Enterprises, where I do motivational and leadership speaking. I'm also a certified life coach, a speaker coach, and I create events where women, especially women that are broken, can identify their barriers, create a platform where they can excel and live their best life. Well, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I am officially a corporate dropout and I am proud of it. So tonight we are going to talk about, hey, what's plan B? These jobs ain't loyal. What's plan B? What you have going on? So if any of one of the ladies, we're going to have each of the ladies share what their take on that topic is. I'll wait to the end. Again, great things are in store for you guys tonight. Ladies, make sure you drop some gems for the people that are watching so that they'll know how to prepare for plan B, C, and possibly D. Who's going first?
Mute myself. Hi, everybody. You know, I've been in healthcare, like I said before, for 28 years. And I started as a respiratory therapist, and I knew early on in my life that I was an entrepreneur. Did a lot of little things that people don't even know, was doing window treatments. I've always done different things. I tried to start out a scrub line. I have so many things that people don't even know that I tried my hand at. And in 2007, created my first legal entity. So even back in 2007, I knew how a business could help me get away from the job. So even though I wasn't working in the business, or, you know, I didn't have a solid product and things of that sort, I did operate things through the business, which allowed me the perks of a business. So I always say, you know, everybody knows me for work part-time for them, work full-time for you. So even I've always worked part-time, you guys. I want to just talk to you about that, because when I know it's not realistic for everyone, but I want you to think about when you have all your eggs in that one basket, when they have your 40 hours a week and your time and your energy, it takes away from your opportunities to even develop yourself, right? If you have a talent, if you have something special that you do, when you give all of that time to that employer, it just kind of robs you. So the one thing that I want to really encourage people to think about is what you're spending your money on, what you're going to the job, working for, and then giving the money away to. When you start to control your finances, you control your destiny. And so if you don't have to pay out so much, you don't have to work so much. Okay. And so think about Amazon, how rich we made Amazon in this pandemic. What were you buying? So that is finances is really was a big part of my strategy. Working part-time for a job, 28 years, out of 28 years, I worked part-time 25. Was I thinking about Social Security? No, because I knew I always would be working for myself, and I've learned to be independent, an independent earner. So when you can start to separate yourself from your job a little bit, you know, learning how to sell a bag of peanuts and then going to work at the job from 8 to 5, but then selling peanuts in the evening, you develop this sense of becoming an independent earner. Okay. And so when they do tell you it's a pandemic and we ain't got no mask for you, you can quit in 2020 like I did. Okay. And so, and hey, it wasn't easy. I cried, but I have been working on this thing. And so, and it just shot me into a whole nother direction, and I activated my plan B. So start with your finances, you guys. Start looking at what you're spending so that you cannot be so reliant on the job.
Wow, that was a great point, Felicia. Control your finances, control your destiny. Did you guys get that, Jim? Control your finances, control your destiny. Who's up next?
I'll go. I haven't shared this story. Actually, I think it was around the middle of March of last year. I got sick. I'm not sure if it was COVID or not, but it sure felt like it. And after over, like I said, 25 years serving in the healthcare industry, I decided to take a leave of absence from my job, but my supervisor gave me the flux. I am a case manager for an insurance company. I got questions like, who's going to manage your caseload when you're gone? It was just a lot of back and forth on the phone. I had to finally end up going to human resources to take time off that I needed. And I was upset, as Felicia mentioned before, because before working at the insurance company, I've served my time. I was a home care nurse before that. So I've been in Cass Corridor. I've worked the floors of Detroit Receiving, and, I've done my due diligence, working in the healthcare field. So, I was upset. I needed to take time off, and she was harassing me. So with that being off, that just gave me some time to reflect and really just focus on self-care. Nurses, mothers, caregivers were always pouring into other people, and we're always last. I mean, and I was irate. Like I said, I was sick. My son was sick. And that's what I was thinking about. I needed to, they gave us, I forget what they called it, but they called it like COVID relief or whatever, where we could take time off, and she was fighting me for it. And I'm like, listen, I come to work every day, and you know, it was really bad. My son couldn't breathe. It was some days where uh, I really felt helpless, because sometimes I didn't know if I was going to get up and find him not breathing. That's how bad it was. So, you know, I really needed that time off. And like I said, we as nurses and caregivers were always giving and pouring and not having anything left in ourselves. So that, you know, that's why I'm just really near and dear with the self-love movement and the I Love Myself brand. And, you know, it's just time for us to, you know, put ourselves first and not just give our all to corporations, you know. So I needed that 90 days off to just kind of regroup and get myself together and work on my plan B. Thanks to hanging around Felicia and some of the other women in the group. That's how the LLCs got started. I also do multi-level marketing. And, you know, I'm not there yet, but I am building. And it's nice just to have some other eggs in the basket, because you know, I thought about quitting, but I wasn't prepared, and I couldn't go anywhere. So I you know, thank God for short-term disability, but I was pissed. So you have to have a plan B, because, you know, how dare you ask me when I'm thinking about my son, my mom, my grandchildren, their well-being, and you're asking me about members. You know, if something happens to me, my family is hit. So you got to have a plan B. You got to. And with that incident, that made me focus and just, you know, write my goals down. And like she said, just cut out with the spending. The pandemic has caused us to save a lot of money. We can't go nowhere. So, you know, I just really took that time to invest and, you know, focus in and build, continue to build my plan B so I can walk out of there.
Great point, Vincina. You mentioned it's time to put ourselves first, not to give our all to corporations. Develop that plan B. Again, this is what the discussion is about tonight. Everyone that's watching, it's about, you know, these jobs ain't loyal and they may not be loyal to you. So how loyal should you be to them? You guys should be developing plans B, C, and D. You ready, Asandi? Tell us your story.
I am ready. I appreciate the diversity of our experiences, and our stories are so different. Unlike Felicia, I was a reluctant entrepreneur. I did not have a desire to own a business. That was not in my vision or my future. However, I've been laid off several times, I've been fired, and even after all of those incidents, I still wasn't getting the lesson. And I knew better. I knew about the value of having multiple streams of income and not being so dependent on an organization, first of all, determining my value and worth, but also consuming my time and my energy. And so I launched a business about 3 years ago, and I was doing it, you know, casually, very casual. It took me about a year to really share that I had this business with anyone. But the way that I came to it was I was doing some volunteer work, communications for a nonprofit. And after many years of doing that and doing this in-kind work, the CEO said, we got to start paying you. You have done way too much work for us. We need to start paying you. And other folks need your service, but they don't know that you exist. And they don't know that they need you and the value that you can bring to their organization. So I said, okay, you know, after she had to convince me, because I really was doing it just because it was easy for me. I loved it and I cared about the mission of the organization. And so once I did that and really began to think about the potential that the business could have, I really ran with it. And so I was most recently, my position was eliminated last May. And I just made a conscious decision to, while I had some clients, I made a conscious decision to build my business, not to panic, not to look for another job. I also didn't financially prepare, but I was good. I was like, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm going to do something different. And I'm going to really focus and direct all of my energy into my consultancy. And I did that with the caveat was I'm not looking for another opportunity. However, if a dream role presents itself, then cool, but I'm not desperate. I'm good. And so I was working my business, attracting new clients, and an opportunity did present itself. But what I have chosen to do is, in addition to say, yes, I see this opportunity as something that I can leverage for my consultancy. So I haven't sacrificed my business. As a matter of fact, I just got a new client. And I'm fortunate that I have the flexibility within my work that I can still meet with folks during the day. I'm not punching into a clock. So I have the flexibility to work the way that I need to work, but I prioritize my business. Like, I love what I do. I love my role at Wayne State, but what my heart is, and I have a responsibility to build my business for me and my security and my future. And so that's going to be my priority. And I had actually made a decision. They knew that I was consulting. And so I made a decision. If they had said to me, you can no longer do it, I would have declined the role, because that's how committed I was to it. And the way that I'm looking at it is, this role will help me leverage my business, build new relationships, so that when I decide to exit, that I will be in a better position and may even transition to consulting full time.
Wow, Shandi, what an amazing story. I got from your speaking, know your worth, build your business, and make it your priority. I think we need to say that again, know your worth, build your business, make it a priority. For those that are just joining, again, this is Dr. B and her awesome friends. We are talking about these jobs ain't loyal. What's your plan B? Like and definitely share this post so that others can understand what some of the plan B, plan C, plan D tips are. Right now we have our ladies introducing themselves and just telling why they sought out plan B. So next we have Miss Shamisha. Can you tell us a little bit about your story?
Yes, hello. So my business kind of came about out of necessity. I live in Orange County, California, which has about 3.2 million people. And after I had my daughter, I was looking for a lactation consultant of color, and I can only find one out of the 3.2 million people. I said, okay, there is clearly a necessity here. It's a real need here, because it's just, I couldn't find that one person to give me that support that I really, really needed. So I made my own way. I said, you know what? Women who look like me need that support, because that's one of the reasons why not as many Black women breastfeed, is because they don't have that support. So I wanted to be that support for women who want to be able to talk to somebody the way they talk to their friend. The way you can communicate with somebody, you can understand, okay, you know what, she's teaching me how to go in there and make sure that me and my baby come home together. Because that's crucial these days, especially for Black women. We're dying at 3-4 times the rate of our white counterparts. So if I can do anything to change that narrative about us and our community, that's what I'm here for. So that's what kind of really pushed me into my business. So now I'm working on getting into midwifery school soon, because I want to open a birth center. That's my next venture. That's going to be a big one, but that's what I want to do, because we need it. So that's where I am. It's crucial, because they just opened the first Black-owned birth center in LA just a couple of months ago. In all of LA County, only one. So where it's necessary and needed. So I want to fill in that gap.
You know, I love that, Shamisha. You know, you said when you don't see what you need, create it. That's one of the things that you have to understand is that when there's a need for something and you don't see the resources, you have to plug yourself into it. I want us to touch base afterwards because there's a young lady here in Detroit that's doing a lot of stuff with doula. And I think that you guys will be able to make that connection to East Coast, West Coast things. You know, it's all about collaboration over competition. So it's all about us networking and making sure that we build on things that we're starting. So I definitely want you to reach out to a young lady that I have in mind. All right, Miss Leah, come on with your story, honey.
I probably got too many stories to name, right? But the one that really pops out to me, I was working in juvenile justice. And so I worked at a high secure facility as a clinician there for our young Black males. I would say in my tenure there, I probably had maybe one white youth and one Hispanic youth out of my entire time there, right? And so I would see how the maltreatment would happen within these spaces. And I'll, keep my story brief, but that for me was critical. It let me know, Leah, you just don't like systems. Systems are unethical. There's a lot of things that go on that, just did not jive with my spirit. And so I walked away from that position. And it was funny because as soon as I turned in my letter of resignation, they turned around and said, well, you know what? You can leave now. Bet, I'm gone. Not a problem. Not a problem. And so beyond that, I started to see, Leah, this degree that you have is malleable. Like you could do pretty much anything that you want to do without anybody else's permission. You have autonomy over how you assist your clients, what it is, right? If you want to go that extra mile, you can go that extra mile without needing to check a box, right? Saying that, okay, offs are in, right? Because I started to see that this system was really about a plantation. So we really are slaves when we work in these systems, and they don't care about you and nobody else that they serving. So when that really began to resonate with me, I said, you know what? I wasn't born to be a slave. I was a free woman. When I came out, I'm a die free woman. And so I am now in the process of really rolling out my private practice. I limit test a little bit, put my little toe in the water. And Lord is like, look, Leah, trust me. I done for you in the past. Don't worry. And so over this COVID-19, my heart goes out to those that have been hurting, but the Lord has used that as a sheer blessing for me in the sense that he has allowed me to see that people are in need and will pay. I don't take insurance, right? We talk about know our value. I don't take insurance. I do private pay. Why? Because I know the value that I bring and the services that I render. So I'll stop right there. But that is, my story as, these systems. When you say these jobs ain't loyal, they're not loyal. They're not loyal to you nor the people that they service. And so if you have a heart that is close to God, you will find that you'll step outside of that box and create the one that he would have you to be in. And especially when your boss tell you, I think we holding you back. I agree.
Wow, Leah, did you see those hand claps go up when you said we are slaves in these systems? Did you see these ladies applaud? You said we are slaves in these systems. They are set up to oppress us. Those of you that are joining, this is Dr. B. We are talking Let's Talk Grown Folks Style. These jobs ain't loyal. What's your plan B? For those that are in the audience, again, like and share. This is interactive. If you have any questions or comments, I can see them on the screen. Drop those questions in. You could direct them to a particular person if you want. But I have these ladies sharing their stories, and they're also going to share some tips with you so that if you want to make the transition, you can make the transition. If it's just as Leah said, a foot in the water, or whether you're taking a full swim, you'll be ready for it. So Miss Ebony, let's go ahead and share your story.
Thank you. Let's talk about how Miss Leah just gave me life, okay? She gave me off what she said, period. But yeah, so I worked in corporate America. I actually worked for an insurance company for a while. And my whole thing was I got tired of asking. Like I tell my kids ask me, can they go places? My kids ask me because, well, I'm the mom and they're underage. Well, I'm a grown person. I've been grown for a lot of years now. And so I don't feel like I should be asking you to go or do anything. If I want to have a day to myself, I shouldn't have to ask you, can I get a day off? I shouldn't have to ask you, can I go to my child's event? I shouldn't have to ask you because I'm grown, and so that was like the fire that kind of put a light under my pilot, was when they told me I had to ask for an additional day to grieve my father when I left, when I was in corporate America. And I'm just like, I'm here on time every day. Like, I'm sacrificing time away from my kids and putting in 13, 14 hours a day. And I have to ask you, can I grieve my dad? No. So so I got to move and work from home, which for me was the best thing ever, because I started learning the whole thing of time and organization. So I was like, if I can get up at this time to log in and I can organize this, and this, then why can't I do it for myself? So my whole thing was I used to schedule my time in for myself. So I was like, I know I get off at this time. So now I'm going to schedule my me time. And then like I was doing like a little consulting work on the side. So I would schedule that stuff into my my work schedule. But I kind of got pushed into entrepreneurship because in 2018, I was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. So I went from, hey, to that's when I really knew that I was just a number, a number to come in and do their work, do their job. Yeah, they can give me all the accolades, all the awards and everything that they want. But when it was all said and done, I was a number helping do their job. So I haven't really heard from anybody from the no bosses, no nothing. It was like once I kind of took that leave, it was like I never heard from them. And I was like, but y'all was like telling me I was the best, this and this and that when I was there, as long as I was doing the job for you. So I was like, if I can do that for corporate America or somebody else, I know I can do it for myself. And that's what I did. And so even in the midst of going through chemo and taking care of my 4 kids, which I kind of know y'all see 2 of the big ones in the back, running through the back. I'm a single mom of 4, and I was like, if I can do it for corporate America, I know I can do it for myself. And my children was like, Mom, yes, you can. So they've been a big support. They've been a big support system for me. So my whole thing was as long as time and organization, managing myself as though I was clocking in to work a 9 to 5. Like I even have an app on my phone where I clock in, I clock out for lunch, and I clock out for the day, because I was like, if I can do that for them, I definitely can do it for myself. And in turn, that has helped me. So my whole thing was like, like I said, I work for an insurance company. Besides how they treated me was how they treated other people. Like I would talk to members who were dealing with cancer, and like now, cancer is like really like a real soft spot for me. Denying their medicines, denying their treatments because it didn't fit into their category. So somebody's life don't fit into your category, so I'm supposed to deny their medicines. So they hated me because I used to call the client back and be like, look, this is how you get around what they're saying. And they'd be like, well, you really can. I was like, you said to provide service, and that's what I'm doing, providing somebody a life. So I went out and I started my own thing, my own coaching and consulting firm. And it's been a blessing to see women who, because they're driving themselves crazy in the world of, corporate America, because you got to have a paycheck to run the house. You know what I'm saying? And so, and doing that, I show them that they can do both. You can, if work is what you want to do, do it. If running a business is what you do, but don't forget yourself. Do not forget yourself. Do not put this job in front of you and your well-being and everything, because guess what? At the end of the day, if you die, if you get sick, case in point, you are still a number to them. You're nothing but a number. They don't really care nothing about you. So make sure that you're doing you. Make sure that you're doing you, and making sure that you're okay before, putting all your eggs in that one basket.
Wow. Thanks a lot, Ebony. You dropped a couple of gems. I think that first one, I'm looking around the stage and I see one person in particular. I need you to drop that in the link. I need you to drop that the link to that app where you clock in and out. I'm not going to point out anybody in particular, but just make sure Just Being Felicia get it so she can learn how to clock in and out. We all get stuck on that. But, when you say, I don't have to ask permission to live my life, I can do it. I can do corporate. What I can do for corporate, I can do for myself. I mean, that is so true. Like I said, I am loving that I am a corporate dropout. I was a chief nursing officer of a hospital, and COVID hit. As many of you know, I have lupus. My daughter has lupus nephritis. So we are just like walking around immunosuppressant. Like if you cough on us, we hit. COVID happened. Nobody knew what was happening. I tried my best to live my life from home, still being a chief nursing officer of a hospital, but the demands were there and everything was there. And I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of being that hamster on that wheel. I want to do something that makes me happy. I want to give back. I want to support my women. I want to support my nurses. I want to sleep at night. My kids are, 20 to 35, and my older kids, they're jealous of my younger kids because they think that my younger kids have more of me. But even with my younger kids, I was still pulling 12, 14-hour days. So, I think that I've given more of myself to my family since May than I've given in the 25 years that I've been a nurse. And it feels good. It feels damn good to just, to be on my own schedule, to do things that I like to do. So right now I'm teaching. I love it because I'm able to give back to our future nurses. I'm coaching. I'm able to pour into people. As a motivational leadership speaker, I'm motivating people. I'm empowering them. So when I get up in the morning, I'm getting up with a purpose and I'm getting up with intent, and I'm not on that wheel. I'm not a little bitty hamster anymore. I'm running in a lane, and that lane is my lane, and it feels damn good. So I thank each and every one of you ladies for being on the stage today, sharing your stories. So right now, what we want to do is, I want you guys to drop some more gems. Some of the gems that we gained in the first, with everyone doing their introductions, I just want to go through it again. Some of those gems, it was control your finances, control your destiny. Time to put ourselves first. Do not give our all to corporations. Know your worth. Build your business. Make it your priority. When you don't see what you need, create it. Oh, Leah, you're going to be famous for this one. I'm telling you, people are going to be dropping it in memes. We are slaves in these systems. They are set up to oppress us. And then Ebony dropped, I don't have to ask for permission to live my life. What I do for these corporations, I can do for myself. And she also told us about an app. So if you're an entrepreneur out there and your mentality is, I got to clock in and out, get this app from Ebony, clock in and out for your damn self. All right, so ladies, I need you to share some tips on how people out there that are on the fence about, should I leave this job? Should I venture into Part B, or should I, stay in my job and start building on Plan B? Give them some tips. Drop some more nuggets. You guys have already started building a diamond field. Let's build a little bit more. Who's going first?
Well, I'll go. I guess we could just keep going around, right? So, no, don't quit your job because you're not ready, okay? You're not ready. You're not disciplined. You don't have a plan. You haven't, you have no idea what entrepreneurship is. I'm not sure if Bridget is saying when she's like, Felicia need that app, because I will sleep in till 10:30 because I earned it. Okay. But I won't go to bed till 1, 2 in the morning. I won't stop working till 1, 2 in the morning. I work 16-hour days some days, most days, for myself, right? And but you guys, I've been working on this for a long time. And so I'm very serious about my time and how I use it, what I do with it. It's mine. It's mine. And you gotta, I think people, you gotta prioritize. It's just that simple. Entrepreneurship is not for everyone. However, some of us, I'm 51, and there is a such thing as age discrimination. I'm just going to talk about my profession, healthcare. The older we get, the harder that work is. We're bending, pulling, lifting, walking 12-hour shifts. You don't have to be going to entrepreneurship, but you better be thinking about something. And you better choose between that $700, $800 bag and your Social Security, which they just said, if you're already 60, you already lost $119. So when Leah talks about being a slave, when I tell you, I have always felt like that. But I think people look at you kind of like you crazy or whatever, because I was who works part-time in their 20s. And I'm gonna tell you something else. I would always get from people, this is how abnormal it is. I would always get, mostly from Black women, oh, do you work somewhere else? I'm sorry, not that question. That was from everybody. Do you work somewhere else? And from Black women, they would say, you're married. No, it had nothing to do with me being married, because I went through a whole divorce and never went back to work full time. Okay? Because I have my finances under control, because I don't live beyond my means, because every dime that I make don't go out to Macy's or to your car note or to this house that you couldn't afford, that they put you in, that you couldn't afford in the first place. So I've always lived this way, and it's not for everyone, but you don't have to be an entrepreneur, but you got to do something, because you're getting older and it's not going to get easier.
I would say take a look at yourself, like really, really spend some time with yourself and ask yourself if you hate it. Like getting up in the morning, are you intrinsically motivated to give your 110, 20, 50%? If not, then spend some more time with yourself and then figure out what it is that you enjoy doing. We do this in therapy just to get people motivated if they, have a diagnosis of depression, right? We want to know, like, what sorts of things get you going, what makes you happy, right? How can you cope? We got to look at the reality, especially right now with COVID-19. There's a thing that's called cognitive load theory. And this particular theory is really based or hinged upon the fact that, like, nothing in our reality makes sense anymore. Like, we don't get up and work off of just rote memory, like getting on a bike. We just kind of know what to do. We don't understand that anymore. We get up and now we're looking for a laptop, and then our cord is missing, and then we forgot the password, and now we can't get on Zoom. So the frustrations of our new reality is overwhelming us. And so if we're finding that going to work is becoming a stressor and a burden, then look at the things that bring you joy. Those are the things that you could potentially build upon for your next move, right? And then when you do that, of course, you know, all of the other things, needing to finally get yourself probably a coach, looking at assessing your finances to invest in your coach. You know, there are certain steps to kind of get there. But I say first, just kind of look at, are you burnt out? Do you hate your job? Right? Is there another passion or level of creativity that brings you joy? Like, you know, attach yourself to that and then look at the steps to carry out beyond there.
That's good, Leah. You guys keep talking about this app. So I'm not sure which app Ebony was referring to, but when you work for corporate, and I think I can say the app, it's called Kronos. And that's slave mentality. You got to punch out for lunch, then you got to punch back in. Slave mentality. So that is not for entrepreneurs. That's for corporate, and it's called Kronos. So I don't know if that's the app she was referring to, but that's the app that we use when you work for somebody else. So that's not a good thing. I would say a lot of us get comfortable, and sometimes we need to get uncomfortable. A lot of us stay in relationships we don't want to be in because we're comfortable. That was me. Big house, 2 cars, Gucci, Louis, trips, Bahamas, all of that. But I was miserable. And I was comfortable at the same time. However, like she said, my plan wasn't together, so I couldn't go anywhere. So I think that we need to invest in a good tribe of women, like-minded women that are thinking like you. Get you a coach, get you a mentor. Because like I said, a lot of people are comfortable and they're afraid. They will stay on a job just because they're comfortable. Entrepreneurship is not for everybody. It is scary. Like right now, every 2 weeks, I know what my check is going to be. I know what I'm going to pick. I know what I'm going to bring home every 2 weeks. I'm salary. If I don't talk to anybody, I'm still going to get that same check. And you get comfortable doing that. But it kind of stifles you at the same time, especially like Leah said, if you hate it. You hate it, but some of us will stay in what we hate instead of trying to grow. We'll stay in that. We'll stay in toxic relationships. Can't stand it. But we'll stay here and put our hood on because we're comfortable in it. So sometimes we need to get uncomfortable and move out of those situations. And it's scary, like you said, because listen, if I ain't selling no NutriBurst or seeing some other clients or whatever, I might not eat. So, you know, you gotta, like she said, juggle it and think about it. But I think it's worth the effort. If it's making you sick, and you know, it's what it is sometimes it'll wake you up out of your sleep. Actually, sometimes you I'm serious, y'all. I mean, and that's you needing to do it, but you're afraid to. And if you are getting that, I'd say go for it, because a lot of times that's our purpose, pushing us to be uncomfortable and just go ahead and do it. So that's, you know, that's what I just wanted to touch on. A lot of us are afraid to make that push. So sometimes we need to get uncomfortable being comfortable.
That was truly a mouthful, Vincent. I'll let you go in a second, Felicia. That was truly a mouthful, Felicia, because, you know, I went from high 6 figures to no figures. And I you know, prior to leaving my 6-figure job, like Vincent, you know, like Felicia said, you know, it was the trips, it was the house, it was the car. And so when I went from 6 figures to no figures, I'm sitting up there like, okay, am I going to be in a homeless shelter? But like Felicia mentioned earlier, once you look at your, once you start looking at your finances, you're like, okay, let me cut this out. Let me cut that out. Hey, life just kept flowing. I'm still in my house. I'm still driving my car. In fact, my car is paid off now. It's like, okay, let me just go ahead and get rid of that expense altogether. Why keep paying that? But you truly have to get uncomfortable because, I think that if COVID wouldn't have hit, I would probably still be sitting in that corner office, miserable as hell. So yes, you have to get uncomfortable. What you wanted to talk about, Felicia?
Now, I just want to make a quick point and let everybody else go. Just like Vincina, sometimes a different perspective, we'll hear something and we think that it is a right way to think, and then you'll hear another perspective, just like you just gave Ebony another perspective on that clocking in, right? So let me just give you, everybody that's listening, another perspective. You're not comfortable. You've been conditioned to do this. You've been trained to do this. They set you up from elementary school to do this. Okay? So it's not comfortable. It's nothing comfortable about you having more bills than you have more paycheck. Nothing. There's nothing comfortable about working 2 jobs to get all the bills paid. So you've been conditioned to think, I need somebody to pay me. I need them to, I have to go and spend my time to get this money. You've been trained, you guys. So that's what I wanted to add.
Can I just piggyback on that? It's mind control, ain't that right? It's all about,
honey, the fight is in our mind.
Yes.
The war is in our mind. It is not in your talent. It is not in your skill. It is not in your drive. It's in your mind. Okay, let me shut up.
Absolutely.
I'll go. The name actually is the name of the app that I use because I don't use it anymore because I get up now when I feel like it because I'm still going through my breast cancer. I call it my situation because I believe I'm already healed in the name of Jesus. So, but it's called, it's on the clock. But for me, it was organized. I used it as organizing my time. Because when we have a job, we tend to waste time, and time is very precious. You know what I'm saying? Time is something we can't get back. So those hours that I spent at my job, giving them my all, I missed out on time, raising my kids. You know what I mean? So those are days and times that I can't get back. And Dr. B, I totally feel like, because my older 2 kids are 20 and 18, and they be like, you always in the little girl's face. I'm like, because I'm trying to just hold on to that moment, and my little girls are 12 and 8, but it don't matter. I still sit them in my lap and everything. But it's organizing your time. Because we waste time. How many people have binged watched tons of Netflix shows? I'm guilty of it. How many people they sit and they watch TV all day, or they're scrolling Instagram and Facebook and all in social media? Some of that time, guess what? Those same posts, them same Instagram posts, them same Facebook posts, all of that stuff, it's still gonna be there. That Netflix, they put something on there, it be on there for 6 months to a year. So you can always go back and watch that. But how are you spending your time? Because once again, it goes back to mindset. It's conditioned. Oh, let me work these 10, 12, 11, 20, 10, 12, 14 hour days. But when I get home, I just want to relax and watch TV or get on social media. But guess what? You can spend that. If you're still working, you can still, when you get off from work, take time to rest, but take at least 3-4 hours to invest in yourself, invest in your business, invest and give back to yourself. You know what I mean? Like I said, those Instagram posts, those Facebook posts, those Netflix shows, all of that's going to be there. And that may be your way of winding down. But how about you figure out another way to wind down? Make sure that you're prioritizing spending your time wisely, because we can get money back. We can get houses back. We can get cars back, but you can't get time back. Time is something, once it's gone, it's gone. You can't get that back. So make sure that you're prioritizing in the right way. Make sure time, even if you have to organize your day. And some days are free flow days. Some days, like today, I didn't really get started till 1 o'clock my time. I'm on the West Coast, but I was fine with that. You know what I mean? And don't be so hard on yourself. Yes, be hard on yourself because you do maybe a routine of things, or it's really about self-discipline, being disciplined. You have to discipline yourself. But if you may not get up every morning, you don't have to clock in or get up at 6 o'clock to start your business. It may be a 1 o'clock day, but the thing is, I started at 1 o'clock. I may not finish this until tonight at like 4 o'clock. Felicia, we here on that. I may not finish till 4 o'clock in the morning. And people are like, oh, girl, you need to go to bed. Guess what? I ain't got to get up and clock in the morning. So guess what? If I want to, I get my little girls up to go to school. They online school. Y'all wake up, and then I can go back to bed if I want to. But I know when I get up, it's game time. And when it's game time, it's game time. And so it's all about prioritizing. But make sure that you're not wasting your time, because once again, you cannot get that time back.
I will share next. Really quickly, what comes to mind for me is the fear part of it. I agree with what Felicia said, that entrepreneurship is not for everybody, and that is okay. I think we are living in this world now where entrepreneurship is sexy and it's trending, and so folks feel like, I need to become an entrepreneur. No, you don't. And it's okay if you don't. So don't feel that pressure. Don't fall prey to that as first. But if you are interested in that, I think discipline, which one of the ladies may have mentioned that before, is so important. Whether you go hard full time or you're doing it as a side hustle, discipline will be your friend. And it also helps to what Ebony talked about with some of the other sisters around managing your time. The last thing that I want to say is, if I have been fortunate to do work that really feeds my soul, working for other organizations. And I know that that's a blessing. So I have, most of my career, I've loved and been excited about getting up in the morning. But when I didn't, or for those people who do not, I want you all to think about the responsibility that you have to live your life fully. And when you are not showing up and shining brightly to do the work that you are supposed to do or feel called or compelled to do, then the world is missing out on the gifts and talents that you have. So you have a responsibility before you leave this earth to leave and to give what you got, whether that's in your position or whether that's in the business. But you got to show up and you got to shine brightly. It's not even optional. Regardless of your age, it is why you were birthed. It is why you are here. So show up, do it, and give, and start where you are. You don't have to go hard right away, but start where you are.
Absolutely.
Great point, Asandi. Great point. Shamisha?
I've been working as a travel nurse since 2013. I had it in my mind early on, before I even became a nurse. I don't want to be stuck in one place. I don't want to be on any committees. I don't want to be in the drama, the politics, none of that. I want to go take care of my patients, go home. I want to go travel if I choose to, and do what I want to do. So I've adopted that mentality. So when I decided to, become an entrepreneur, I knew that, recently I got a coach, because I know me, and I am a chronic procrastinator. So I knew I needed to find somebody who will hold me accountable and hold me to the fire. Like, listen, if you want to get to this goal, you need to do X, Y, and Z. So that was crucial for me. I started listening to podcasts like Side Hustle Pro. That's a good one. You know, just to get my mind where it needed to be, to say, okay, you know what? I don't have to work for somebody forever. I can do something different. And if I want to work for somebody for a little bit and work for me here too, you can do both. But it was important to me to surround myself with, like she said, like-minded people. It's funny that Leah said we have that slave mentality, because maybe 10 minutes before we started this broadcast, I was talking to my best friend and she was leaving from work. She's a nurse practitioner. She's like, I'm leaving the plantation. So she already knows, like, that's how it is. She works for a huge hospital system. She was like, you know, I'm just leaving the plantation, but that's how she feels every single day. And it's like, you know, when we can get out of that mentality and figure out, okay, well, what can we do to get out of that mentality? What can we do to further ourselves? You know, that's when I feel like you grow. But it's about surrounding yourself with like-minded people who are going to push you, hold you accountable, call you on your mess, and, you know, really just encourage you, because sometimes you need that extra push. Sometimes you need to say, girl, get it together. Sometimes you need that extra. So, you know, those are my words of encouragement.
Wow. I mean, you ladies have truly dropped some gems. I cannot believe that an hour has passed already. For those that are watching, I really thank you for, you know, being here with us. You know, again, this is Dr. B. Let's talk grown folk style. We're talking about these jobs ain't loyal. What's plan B? And Asandi, you made a great point. You know, entrepreneurship is not for everyone, but everyone needs a plan B. Whatever that plan B may be, you need to think of a plan B. I really enjoyed you ladies. As we finish up tonight, I would really like for each of you, I know that you've dropped some, like I said, you've dropped gems, you've dropped diamonds and emeralds and pearls and all of that, but I need you on the way out to drop one more for those that are out here that are listening, for those that will catch us on a replay. I need for you to drop at least one more gem, and then I'm just going to talk about a couple of more episodes of Let's Talk Grown Folk Style that I think people really need to tune into. So let's just go around the room, do a little round robin, drop that extra pearl, diamond, ruby, whatever stone you're dropping.
So what's your plan B? It does not have to look like anyone else's. Let me give you some examples. Your plan B can be to reduce your finances so that you don't depend on the job as much. Your plan B can be to not rent forever, but to own a home and allow it to build equity. Okay. Your plan B, if you don't know what you like, if you're not creative, if you feel like you don't want to be an entrepreneurship, real estate makes money. It is the thing that will always make money. Okay. What is that? Guess what? You can't be buying the purses and buying the real estate. So you got to make a decision, right? Okay. And if you're on your job, your plan B could be your 401k. We understand none of this stuff is guaranteed. None of it. You waking up tomorrow's not guaranteed, but you got to think about something other than getting up and just walking in, using your body and then walking out to make money or to grow wealth. I'm going to use that term, to grow some wealth, right? And so even working part-time, I have been able to amass 6 figures in a 401k, and full-time people can't seem to do it. So it's about discipline, recognizing that you cannot, tomorrow may not look like today. Tomorrow might not look like today. So you got to start within your means. Like one of the panelists said, start now, and I'll add, start now, start with what you have, start with where you at.
Awesome.
Excellent, excellent. I would like to say sometimes social media robs us. What we do is we'll go on social media and we start to compare. And the thing is, we don't know at what point that person is in their lives. We'll go on and we're looking at, and they've been in the game, and I can name names, but I'm not, but you know, they are at point 20 and we coming in dang, I want this, but we haven't put all the work in. So stop comparing, because that's that's going to rob us right there. And the most important part that I can think of right now that I want to leave you guys with is be the love that you need. Be the love that you need for yourself. Self-love is the best love. Stop putting everybody else first. Put yourself first. Self-love is not selfish, it's necessary. So be the love that you need.
That's a perfect transition. I was going to say selfish is not necessarily a bad word, and align your intentions with your actions.
Shamisha?
Oh, I'm sorry, you kind of cut it out. One thing that I would really say is get your affirmations together. One thing that I do is I have them on my bathroom mirror. My favorite one is, it says, "My dreams are an emergency." And that's how I live. What's important to me is going to be my personal emergency. If I want to have this birth center, I have to do X, Y, and Z to get there. If I want to impact the world, I got to do X, Y, and Z to get there. So I push my dreams every day like they're an emergency. So that's how I live. And that's how I encourage other entrepreneurs to live like your dreams are an emergency. And you can also find me on IG at The Nurse Milk, and educate yourself a little more about breastfeeding education.
Thank you. Leah?
I just say that there's more to you than a job description.
Mm-hmm.
So there's more that God has instilled within. Many of us are unaware of exactly what it is. So again, I would say spend time with yourself. Find a moment of quiet, of stillness. When I started to get uncomfortable and wanted to leave, God said, "Be still." So I would say that in stillness is where you begin to find out exactly who you are and what it is that you should be doing in your life, instead of living a life where you are in their box based upon their job description. Define yourself.
All right, Miss Ebony.
I would say mine would be, one of the scriptures that I live by is, God did not give me a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. That even in the midst of fear, still move. And a big thing with entrepreneurs don't want to do is they don't want to step out on that faith because they're fearful. But the Bible never said that the feelings of fear would never come. It's what are you going to do with that fear? Use that fear as your motivation to move past it. I go past and I move every day, no matter what obstacles come my way. Entrepreneurship, it is very scary. Anybody to tell you that, they lying to you. But even in the midst of entrepreneurship, on those scary days where I may not know what's going to come my way, I still move. I still get up and I do it. And I'm like, you know what, God, today it is me and you. Whatever it is that you have me to do, I'm going to move in it. Even if fear comes, and when it does come, I still move in it. So no matter what, move in fear. Allow that fear to actually be your fuel and not your stopping point.
Wow. You ladies have, I put this show together, and I really didn't think that I was going to be filled up the way I am. I hope that the people in the audience, I hope you guys grabbed onto something and able to take it with you and able to share it with others. This has been an awesome panel. Again, this was Dr. B. Let's talk grown folk style. These jobs ain't loyal. What's your plan B? And again, we said, entrepreneurship is not for everybody, but everyone must have a plan B. So I do have some more shows coming up. Again, I'm Dr. B, and I do Let's Talk Grown Folk Style. I like to bring up those topics that a lot of people don't like talking about, those things that are usually brushed up under the carpet. But in honor of Black History Month, there were 3 topics that came up that I felt needed to be addressed. And so I reached out to my fellow kings and queens, and I wanted to bring them to the various stages so that they can tell their stories and tell their truths, so that, as our kids hopefully look back on Black History Month, they can look and some of our names will be in those history books. So some of the shows I have coming up, again, tomorrow on Clubhouse, you will find us in Clubhouse on my club, Dr. B's, on Clubhouse, Dr. B, Let's Talk Grown Folk Style. We will be talking about this same topic, these jobs ain't loyal. What's Plan B? That will be at 6:30. Again, that will be in my club, Dr. B, Let's Talk Grown Folk Style. On February 17th, we will be back here on FaceTube and on Facebook and on YouTube. Pros and cons of being a strong Black woman. So I have some awesome panelists for you there. We will be there again on February 18th in Clubhouse with the same topic. Again, I have some awesome panelists talking about pros and cons of being a strong Black woman. Again, that's in Clubhouse. That's in the club. Dr. B, Let's Talk Grown Folk Style. On February 24th, you do not want to miss us on Facebook and YouTube. I have some awesome gents here, because you guys are probably going to say, all she brings is queens to the stage, but I got some kings for you ladies. We're going to be talking about raising Black sons in 2021 on February 24th on Facebook and YouTube. And then again, we're taking it back to the Clubhouse on February 25th, again, with some awesome panelists. This is Dr. B, Let's Talk Grown Folk Style. I thank each and every one of you queens for sharing the stage with me, for dropping those gems. I hope those of you that are out there in the audience caught some of those gems. And if you're on the replay for Facebook and YouTube, just drop replay in the comments. Please like and share this post. I'm sure that these ladies dropped some information that someone else will need. My tip for everybody is just basically, get you a tribe. Get you a tribe of like-minded women, and always remember that it is collaboration over competition. The mountain is not peaked. I truly believe it's flat, and it's enough room for each and every one of us. So I thank each and every one of you. Have a great evening. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Live your best life. Live your best damn life. Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.